Everyone said our lunch lady was secretly a millionaire. We were joking. Every kid at Lincoln High had a theory about Miss Ruth. She served us gray meatloaf and watery mashed potatoes from behind the same steam tray for 20 years, and she drove a rusted-out Corolla with a bungee cord holding the trunk shut. But she wore shoes that didn't make sense. Real leather, red soles, the kind of shoes you see in magazines, on a woman scooping canned corn onto a tray. So we made up stories. Secret heiress, retired spy, won the lottery and got bored. We were 14. We thought it was funny. Here's the thing about Miss Ruth. She always knew. She knew whose parents were splitting up before the kid did. She knew who came to school hungry. And if you were one of those kids, your tray got heavier. An extra roll, a second carton of milk. Made too much today, she'd say, not even looking at you. So you'd never feel like charity. I was one of those kids junior year. Dad's back gave out on the job and the check stopped. Some mornings I'd have nothing, and I'd sit at the far end of the cafeteria pretending I wasn't hungry. Miss Ruth clocked it in a week. Suddenly there was always a leftover sandwich with my name on it, slid across the counter with a wink, every single day. Then one day she stopped me by the tray return. You applying to college, honey? I laughed. Told her we couldn't cover the application fee, let alone the rest. She just nodded and patted my hand and went back to wiping the counter. 2 weeks later, a lawyer called my house, said an anonymous donor set up a full ride. Tuition, housing, books, everything. My mom cried on the kitchen floor. I knew it was her. I ran to the cafeteria the next morning, and she looked at me like I was speaking Latin. Somebody must really believe in you, she said. But I caught the corner of her mouth twitch when she turned back to the steam tray. For 4 years, the miracles kept coming. Laptop died, a check appeared, winter with no coat, a package showed up. I'd call to tell her about my good luck, and she'd say the same thing every time. The Lord provides, baby. Always the red-soled shoes in the back of my mind. How does a lunch lady afford those? I graduated, moved 2 states over, sent her a Christmas card every December, and every year I got one back in that shaky handwriting, always signed the same way. Love, your cafeteria mama. Last month my mom called. Miss Ruth passed in her sleep, 79. I flew home expecting a handful of folding chairs in a funeral home. I walked into a church with people standing in the back because there were no seats left. Hundreds of us, grown adults now, doctors and mechanics and teachers, all of us looking around like, wait, you too? Then her lawyer stood up at the front and unfolded a piece of paper. He said Miss Ruth's late husband left her almost $9 million when he died in 2003. The room went dead quiet. She could have gone anywhere, he said. Instead, she kept clocking in at 5 a.m. to feed other people's kids. And every year she pulled one of us aside and paid our whole way through college. He said she made him promise to never tell a living soul while she was alive. Then he started reading names, the kids she'd put through school. He read for almost 4 minutes. When he finished, he looked up and said there were 51 of us in that room right now. And then he said one more thing. He said Miss Ruth left instructions for the shoes. She wanted them buried with her, because in 54 years of working on her feet, she said, those were the only pair she ever bought new, the day her husband's money cleared. 51 college degrees, 1 new pair of shoes,